It's Monday, the 12th of August, and welcome to the Edinburgh Fringe. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome once more to a day that is slightly quieter than most at the Edinburgh Fringe. Yes, it's Monday the 12th of August, but it's also Monday the Dark. And that makes it sound quite ominous, doesn't it? To be fair, all it is just this is a day where quite a lot of shows take the day off and take the time to recharge the batteries. That said, if you're wanting dark and ominous, this morning, thunder and lightning across the city. Just to remind you all that the Scottish weather is Scottish. Unlike Need for Who do our theme music, who are actually from Austin, Texas. There we go. Right, yes, it is Dark Day here where not all of the shows are running, so check listings for details if you're just popping out and going there on a whim. And yes, thunder and lightning in the morning. But most importantly, this is a day where quite a few people recharge, certainly on the performance side. It also gives a chance for front of house staff just to take a bit of time to calm down as well. Not all the stages are being used. Back of house can also, again, take a little bit of time. There are resties programmed out, but the sort of middle Monday that we have here is always quite a popular one. You don't need to run around every single day, and that's true for the performers and true for you out there as well. If you're in Edinburgh, this is a day just, if you want to just chill down, this is always a good time to do it. Take time out and relax. So, that's a good idea of the Fringe, but it's a good idea sometimes about life as well. Don't just always run. Okay, today's interview, Vyte Garriga has the show Paper Swans. It's a mesmerising and thought-provoking piece of absurdist theatere, and it's picking up critical acclaim across the Fringe media. And the show itself is just this emotionally complex hour that asks a lot of questions and doesn't always provide answers or even easy answers. Fascinating show. So Vyte and I, we talk about moving from Lithuania to the United Kingdom, to London specifically, and why for Vyte, RADA felt like the only option to continue her theatrical career. From there, we talk about her academic studies and why she was hungry to be on the stage, both individually and as part of a theatre company. And finally, we talk about the writing process of Paper Swans and the challenges presented by the repeating motif that goes throughout the show and the challenge that offers to the audience. Joining me now on the Edinburgh Fringe show from London, from Lithuania to the stages here at the Fringe, it's Vyte Garriga.
Hello.
Well-travelled, it would have to be said, but also a lot of that history of where you have lived and where you're from comes through in the show as well, which is Paper Swans. Tell us a bit about your journey.
So I was born in a Soviet Lithuania, but then we got independent 9 months later. So basically I grew up in the country that was trying to rediscover itself or grow up together with me. And then I think as far as I can remember, I always wanted to perform. So then when I graduated from school, there wasn't even a question. I knew that I was going to go to London. And at that point, I only knew one acting academy, because in Lithuania, we have basically one academy in Vilnius, in the capital. And then you have a few smaller ones, but basically, if you want to be an actor, you go to the Lithuanian Music and Theatre Academy. So I thought it's the same case all around the world. So I knew about RADA, and that's the only place I wanted to study. And I came here, applied once, didn't get in, applied twice, didn't get in. Also then was introduced to the idea that there's at least 7 big ones that you want to apply to in London.
So you thought that every country just had one place for actors. We put bodies into there, and we have thespians coming out projecting an emotion.
So yeah, anyone from the UK, if you want to be an actor, you go to RADA
Everybody
because
went
that's
through RADA.
the only
Yes.
place to do acting. Uh, um, yeah, so yeah, basically that was like I was just that's my mission, and I think uh after so I didn't get in twice, and I was applying for the bachelor's degree. And then I decided that the only thing for me, the only thing I need to do is just basically get my foot in the industry. So I thought I'll study anything remotely related to film and theater. And then all I need to be is on the set. A nurse will be sick. I will raise my hand. They will put me in, and the next moment I know I'm receiving my Oscar. So I did film and theater studies at London Metropolitan University, uh, which I think was actually a really, really good thing because it gave me an understanding of the theatre world in the UK and in the broader world. But I still wanted to be, the third tree from the left, the goat. So then I did just an acting diploma course at City Lit, and then afterwards I got my agent, whereas my friend Charles got into master's degree at RADA doing theatre lab. And then a few years me attempting and trying the industry and realizing that, yeah, East European, blue eyes, big cheekbones, there's only certain amount of roles I will be allowed to play. And then we had a chat with Charles, and he said, yeah, Vita, if you want to go and do theatre lab, just you have to. And then I got in, and then the rest is history.
So after all that, you did finally get at least one bit of RADA into that CV.
Yes, absolutely.
You go from there to bringing up your first show to the Fringe. Now, you've been at the Fringe before as a group, but what made you decide that now was the year to come up and do a solo show at Edinburgh?
So I think the first time when I did the Fringe, I was here with theatere. That was back in 2018, I believe. And it's a company that has been to the Fringe, I think at that point, 10 years already. They already knew what to do, where to go, like all the flying stars. So I just felt like a princess. All I need to do is just be told where to go, what to do. And that really scared me because I thought, I'm already here as a performer and I don't know where to go, what to see. There's absolutely no way I'm bringing my own show because it's just too much. And then unless there is a massive producer behind my back. And then just by accident, because I'm an associate artist with Flabbergast Theatre, and we've been touring the UK, and then they helped me to do a work in progress of Paper Swans because I thought there was one point back in 2022 when I thought all my friends were doing their own shows, so I also wanted to attempt doing one by myself, and they agreed to help me. And then last year, Henry, the artistic director, just said, "Would you be interested?" Uh, and that made me think. And then I said, well, maybe, but you have to promise me that you help me because I don't think I have a producer's head, and I will need a lot of help if we were to make it happen. And I think yeah, when I think about it, it's probably the best time because there's quite a few of my friends also taking their shows to the Fringe, and Flabbergast is co-producing another two shows alongside Paper Swans. So it's just, yeah, there is a community and a bigger group that helps us to go to Edinburgh and actually make this happen.
So you're not actually flying on your own. Yes, it's your show, but you've got people behind you to go, everything is needed.
Yeah, everything is going to be okay.
Everything is needed. The confidence. It's day 3. There's 30 shows. It's going to be fine. Everything stay calm. It's quite an in-depth show, Paper Swans. Tell me a little bit about it.
I think the way I write, or at least been writing so far, is that I never have a precise message that I want to convey. And again, there is nothing wrong when plays or novel stories have a meaning that they want you to get after reading the book. But I think with so far, and especially with Paper Swans, I see it more like a surrealist dream. And of course, there are messages, meanings, but I think I'm more interested to hear what you thought it meant, and or what it made you feel and think, rather than me trying to say A is A and B is B. I think with Paper Swans, I started writing it from the images, because basically it started when I was doing my bachelor's degree. We had a playwriting module and we had to write a play. In the beginning, my idea as East European and actress wannabe, I thought it definitely Sarah Kane. It has to be something, extremely emotional, heavy. And then I realized that if all the stories I want to talk about, I don't know, set in the mental hospital, I don't know, abuses. I thought, well, these stories have been written by either people that have the lived experience or are so much more talented writers than I am. And then I thought, well, then I need to write my story. And I thought, I don't know what, like, I'm boring. There's nothing extraordinary that happened that I could share or tell people. And I was really, really struggling. But then I think one night I thought, you know what, let's approach it to a different angle. Rather than trying to find the arc and the story, let's see where it takes me. Let's go into the forest and let's see where the road leads. And then basically I started with an image. I could see myself sitting in the theater, in the balcony, looking down, seeing an empty stage besides a bench, a few coat hangers that's supposed to symbolize trees, and then a lot of paper, and yeah, a few paper swans that were made out of it. And I thought, okay, let's see what happens.
Which theatre did you dream you were in? Was it just like generic theatre, or was it one back in Vilnius?
It was the Royal Court.
Just, I'll think about it and it will happen.
Yeah, manifesting.
Has it happened yet?
I've been to the Royal Court as an experience, but not as a playwright yet.
I like that. Yeah, that's how not how. I find it interesting that not only did you start without knowing the end, that you appear to have made a deliberate choice not to give it an end, not to give it a nice simple, this is where it stops. Can the audience easily accept that?
I think they don't want to, but at least the feedback that we were getting so far, yes. Because I think what happens with this piece, and I always say, don't be afraid of theatre of the absurd. Like, the only thing I wouldn't want you to think that you're ill-equipped to understand it. It's a different kind of understanding. It doesn't follow a linear narrative. So get out of your head, lean into the feelings that it makes you feel, the anger, confusion, and then once you accept it, I think then you go on a different kind of journey, and the arc is definitely there. And yeah, look, all the feedback we were getting, everyone said, I don't know what happened, but I just feel something, and probably I want to come back again and watch it again and see things that I missed. But yeah, I think it's emotional kind of journey rather than linear journey that we're used to. So I think the moment when the audience lets go, and obviously within the repetition of the scenes, at some point I think by default you do, because you realize that there is no point in me trying to stretch and build the logical explanation of what's happening, and then once you just lean into it, wonderful things happen.
Yeah, you mentioned repetition there, both of the audience and wanting to come back and watch it again. That's good for ticket sales. But also in the piece itself, this is yourself and fellow performer Daniel Christos Moo, and it's repetition. It's going through the same thing again and again, but not going through the same thing again and again. It's a structure that a lot of people are going to reach going and say, oh, it's like that Groundhog Day film. But why have you decided to do something like that?
I think firstly, I really like Samuel Beckett. So obviously waiting for Godot when nothing happens.
I love that you reached for Beckett and I've reached for Bill Murray.
Very true. uh, uh, yeah, so I think it's probably it was somewhere there in the unconscious, and I think again one of the things that we were when we were writing or attempting to write a play, I think our lecturer said that there has to be a reason for the characters to stay in the scene, because otherwise, if there is nothing that they want from each other, they would just leave. And I thought, okay, so let's see what happens if they have to keep refining an idea of having to be together, and I think that's not only in the scene but within the play, uh, and I think they at the end they start really enjoying each other's company.
How difficult was it to decide how many repetitions, how much change, and what to do in the last repetition that's presented to the audience?
Uh, So I think if I'm honest, in the beginning, it was just literally me trying to see how many more repetitions and like how can I make it different but similar. Um, so I think that was the beginning, just writing it out and all ideas, whatever happens, a good idea, bad idea, just write it out, get it out of the system. Um, and then when I started editing, it surprisingly ended up having a shape where you go from small and then you crescendo, you reach the peak, and then is the revelation. So I think, and then we did the rehearsed reading, which then again I had a chance to hear it, because when we did the rehearsed reading, I specifically didn't want to be in the piece. I wanted to sit out and hear it, and I was very pleased that the piece sounds the way I hear it in my head. So I thought then, good, the communication between me and the paper is there. So then I just need to improve my writing. Um, Also, I had Simon Gleif, who directed the piece, um, give me feedback on writing, whether there's anything that we needed to add or remove. And the very first time when we did the work in progress, we had 9 scenes, and we only have 8 at the moment. Because basically, the eighth scene feels like an end, and and uh, and I deliberately didn't want that. I wanted to trick the audience, so I wrote the ninth one, and it does work. But you know when they say kill your babies, I it was something that introduced another start, which felt like a false start. So then I thought, no, we went through the journey. The characters went through everything. All the masks are now removed. They're just two individuals that finally found a way to coexist together. It's not needed. But yeah, it's basically you read and try and then start to feel whether it actually goes somewhere, or it's a bit tedious, or it doesn't make sense. It's just for the sake of an ego.
Paper Swans itself, playing the Fringe. Tell us where we can come and see it.
So we're at the Pleasance Courtyard upstairs until the 25th of August at 11:05 in the morning.
And if people want to find out more about yourself, previous productions, you're online?
Yep. So you can find more about my work on my website, which is vytegarriga.com. Or I'm on Instagram as Vyte Garriga, Facebook Vyte Garriga. Also, Flabbergast Theatre is helping me produce Paper Swans. So again, Flabbergast Theatre on all the social medias or flabbergasttheatre.co.uk.
And as always, we will have links to all of those back at our website, edinburghfringe.thepodcastcorner.com. But for now, Vyte, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Vyte Garriga there, talking about Paper Swans. Plays at the Pleasance Courtyard, 11:05 through to the 25th. It's Dark Monday though, so do check listings. I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones that skips. Anyway, ticket links is always back at our website, and you can only buy a ticket when it is actually on, so that kind of helps the guidance. edinburghfringe.thepodcastcorner.com. So yes, take a breath today, whether you're at the Fringe or outside. Just, slow down the pace just a little bit and enjoy the world as it passes you by and you pass it by. As always, your links, your likes, your loves, your shares and subscribes are always welcome. It helps people find the show in your favourite podcast app or directly with a star rating or a review. And I will catch you at the Fringe and beyond. Ta-ra for now. You've been listening to the Edinburgh Fringe Show, hosted by Ewan Spence, produced by Spence Media and Radio 6 International. Listen to more at edinburghfringe.thepodcastcorner.com.